And so if you do the proper weight training with the proper form and that type of thing, you're gonna make sure we stave off the aging process, so to speak. So the first, what I'll start by asking is, how many of you feel like you could be in better shape? Oh yeah, see, so, okay, so that being said, the question then arises, why do you feel you're not in better shape? Okay, so it could be one of two reasons. It could be, the first reason could be either because of the fact that, we're too busy. It could be because of the fact that you don't feel like you know what you're doing. But depending on whatever the reason is, what I'm here to tell you is that we can always find time to get in better shape. The reason why there's so many problems and we're on so many medications at this day and age is because of the sedentary lifestyle we live. You find that most of the problems and diseases that arise, in this, the American society is because we're sedentary. In other populations and in other demographics, when we retire, we actually become more active. But here, you find that when we retire, we actually, we slow down. We don't do as much. And so it's important that we exercise and we keep those muscles strong and keep them functioning so that we don't have muscle weakening. And so, when you first, I should preface this by saying when you first, 18, 19, 20 years old, I think you all remember the days when you have a perfect balance. It's almost like a new car off the showroom floor. Your muscles are strong, you don't ever have any problems, any kind of issues. But as we get older, what happens is that you start getting out of balance. Certain muscles get stronger, other muscles get weaker, and so ultimately this creates problems in the body because the body is like a well-oiled machine, and as long as we keep everything even, there's no problem. But again, what we want to do is we want to make sure we identify the areas which are getting weak, and then we want to strengthen those areas because we all have areas which are going to be stronger for us naturally, and then we have areas which are going to be a little weaker for us. So what we want to focus on is the weak areas, but unfortunately, most of us focus on the strong areas. So I'll tell you a funny story. My dad is 85 years old, and so that's one of the things I'm blessed in the sense that I'm able to see the future. I'm able to see, what's going to happen to all of us and see where we're all going and what's happening with the muscles. And my dad, his issue right now has been he's been having this hunch over a little bit because his muscles are getting tied up in the front, and then so we're having to make sure we keep the muscles loose and strengthen the muscles in the posterior chain so that he doesn't have this issue going on. And so